Good morning. I think my clock's like a minute slow, about 45 seconds slow. Maybe the battery's, I don't know, draining. Kind of like my battery drains sometimes. Here we are, another Friday. Grab a strap if you have it. If not, we can make do without. A couple blocks wouldn't be a bad idea either. You know me, I always like to have those options. So meet me on your mat. We're going to start on our back. And have the strap close at hand, but just let it be for now. Keep the knees bent and decide if you like the palms down or the palms flipped up. Just wiggle, kind of feel the body. This Friday morning, another summer weekend coming up, but they're going fast, huh? Can feel fall in the air some days. Just kind of that kiss of fall, reminding us that it's coming. And I want you to bring awareness to your lower back. You can keep your knees bent like mine, or you can extend the legs long, or you can play with both. I think I'll keep mine long. As I inhale, I'm going to lift and arc my back. So I can slide my hand underneath my low back if I wanted to. And as I exhale, I'm going to press my low back down into the mat. Again, you can keep your knees bent or legs straight. Inhale, arc the spine. And exhale, press the back down into the mat. And even a little sense of kind of a beginning of a crunch here. And then go the other way. So get the movement down. And then let your breath guide this. So no hurry with this. Inhale, you have a nice arc or an anterior tilt of the pelvis. And as you exhale, posterior tilt. That's kind of limited by the floor. I'm a little hoarse this morning. Inhale, arc the spine. And exhale, press. So this gentle movement is good for the lumbar spine, the low back. And combining the movement with the breath this way is soothing to the nervous system. Let's do 3 more. Nothing to do but breathe and tilt the pelvis right now. 2 more. Last one for me. Notice maybe that you're loosening up and that lift is a little higher. Now come to stillness and just notice where the low back lands. There should be a little arc in the low back. You might not be able to get the entire hand under there, but you should be able to slide the fingers under. So that inner curve, that lordotic curve of the lumbar spine. Just notice where you're at. Feel the tailbone. Now draw your knees up to your chest. Now let's do a little crunch here. So bring nose towards the knee and roll the shoulders while you're up here. Maybe turn the head side to side. Now release the shoulders and the back of the head back down to the mat. And notice with the knees up, the low back's probably pressing onto the mat. I want you to imagine that there's a clock face underneath your low back. So from your tailbone, clear up to the top part of the pelvis. And picture the numbers. I don't care how you orient the numbers. Start moving through the hips, circling. And in your mind, picture the numbers in Press into each one of those numbers, like you had to light up a little light by pressing into each number. Nice and slow. Now go the other way. And then come to stillness. Now get a clear picture in your mind how you've oriented the face of the clock. And I'm going to call out a number and I want you to press into that. So now I want you to press into 12. And then come back to neutral. Now press into 3. And come back to neutral. Press into 8. Ooh, that's a tricky one, huh? And back to neutral. How about 9? And neutral. Let's do 2 more. How about 4? Way up there to 11. And do a couple more circles. Let's hit all the numbers. And float the feet down to the mat and get your strap. We're going to lift the right leg. I've got a really long strap, so I'll probably have stuff flying around here, but I'm going to lift my right foot and put that strap around the sole, the arch of my right foot. And just be gentle with the hamstrings here, so you're going to get a nice stretch in the back of the leg. And just play with straightening the leg, reaching up through the heel, and then bending the knee. But again, gentle. So maybe the leg won't straighten out completely. That's okay. You can always lower the leg a little bit and kind of work your way up like you're climbing some steps maybe. And then at some point come to stillness. I've got one end of the strap in each hand. If it's okay with your back, bring the left leg out onto the floor, but keep that leg active. The heel's on the floor and the toes are flexed, reaching up towards the knee. And play a little more with the stretch of the back of the leg. You can use the straps here. If you don't have a strap, feel free to use the hands on the back of the leg anywhere. It could be the thigh. You could climb up towards the calf. And now hold. Find a nice edge here for this stretch, and then hold and breathe. Send your breath into that sensation. Now take both ends of the strap in the right hand. I'm going to take my left hand to the top of my left thigh, kind of to the groin area where your hand lays, and open the right leg to the right. That left hand reminds the left side of the pelvis, the low back, to stay put as much as possible here. And then use that strap again, maybe a little circling through the leg, maybe just find some movement. Find some places that feel nice to stretch and gently wake up. I come back up to the midline. We're going to switch hands. I want to take the straps in the left hand. Now the right arm can come out here onto the floor wherever it's comfortable, and guide the right leg across the body, keeping the right shoulder on the mat. And the right leg comes over as far as is comfortable. But find a little stretch here. That left leg's still active. It may have tipped over to the little toe edge. That's okay. Keep the foot flexed. And then come back to center. We're going to bring the left foot up next to the right and then switch. Start with the right foot down on the mat. Let's work a little stretching the left leg. And eventually let's slide that right foot down. Flex the foot and then find a place with the left leg where you can hold. Taking one end of the strap in each hand. Send the breath to this stretch, to that sensation. So as you inhale, maybe imagine those muscles expanding. And as you exhale, now there's more room for them to release and relax, and maybe deepen the stretch. Now the right hand comes to the right groin. We're going to open the left leg to the left. You can always take your gaze to the right. Bring a little twist to the cervical spine. And breathe. Play with the straps and some movement in the leg. Come up to center. And we're going to switch. Take the straps in the right hand, left arm comes out here onto the floor. Keep the left shoulder on the mat. We're bringing a twist to the lumbar spine now, the low back. Bringing the left leg over to the right. And play again. The strap is a nice tool to bring a little controlled stretch. A nice exploration for sensation. Come back up to center and release the strap. Bring both legs to the mat and just pause and notice. Feel those legs. What do you notice? What sensations are you finding? We're going to take a good morning stretch on an inhale. And as you exhale, let's just roll up to a seated position. I'm going to turn to face the camera now, or at least this camera, not that one, that's my side camera. So keeping the strap close at hand, we're going to use that again, but from a Sukhasana, let's take the right hand out here to the floor, out here, way out here, and take the left hand to the right knee. I'm going to reach up and over with the right. So I've been on vacation. I haven't had to mirror a lot. I've taught some classes, but the mirroring is slowly coming back. I'm going to circle the left arm around and over. Let's do 4 more. 1. Keep the sit bones anchored. That was 2. Here comes 3. I'll do a total of 5. 4. And 1 more. And then come up to a neutral spine. Switch the cross of your legs. Doesn't really matter which shin's in front. Let's just switch. Second side, left hand to the mat. Right hand to the outside of the left knee. We're going to reach up and over, a lateral flexion and extension. So side bend. And then circle the arm. So a little twisting in the spine, but some range of motion in the shoulder. We'll do a total of 5 here as well. Check in on your breath. Is it nice and easy and full this Friday morning? Two more. One more, I think I sort of kind of lost count. I do that a lot too. More when I come back from vacation. And then sit up nice and tall. Get your strap. Now, if Sukhasana is not a comfortable seat for you, come to one that is. So Dandasana, or up on your shins, supported up on your shins. Find a place that you feel supported. Get your strap. Mine's long, so I've got it doubled. I could probably even do more than that. But I'm going to bring the strap into my hands, hold them tight, and my arms are kind of in the shape of a V, so the hands are a little wider than my shoulders. Pulling. So all the time that we're doing these movements, I want an isometric contraction. We're going to reach up with the arms and then down with the arms. Keep pulling, pulling, pulling. You should be able to bounce a quarter on that strap. If you don't have a strap, just do the movement with your arms with me. But a belt can work. The belt to a robe is usually nice. We'll do 1 more of these each way. And then back to center. I'm going to bring them over my head. Keep the sit bones anchored. I'm going to use my right hand to kind of pull me over, but the left hand's pulling away. Inhale up. And exhale, second side. So keep that tension. And notice how much more work that adds to the muscles of the arm. So this isometric contraction, we're building some strength Let's go one more each way. And then bring the arms down. Shake your arms out if you need to. Now for this next one, you might need to go a little wider on your strap, but play with this. So only go as wide as you need to. Come up above the head, and maybe you can go clear back. Now shoulders can be an issue, so if this doesn't work for you, don't do it, but keep pulling the hands away from each other. Keep that strap nice and tight. Up and over. Let's go one more. And then lay this strap off to the side. We may visit that strap again before we're done. Pause here. Notice your shoulders now. You can wiggle around a bit if you like. We tend to be flexed a lot forward in our torso and our upper extremities. And that's a nice way to kind of open things up and line up the shoulders and the spine. Bring some freedom to the upper chest. Okay, come to table. Let's do a couple cat-cow. And go with the sensation here. You know how to do cat-cow. Flexion and extension of the spine, but let your mind be entertained by the sensation. Be very curious and add some movement that you feel like you might need this morning. It's a little freestyle cat-cow. I always like to shift forward and back a bit. That helps with the hands, the wrists, the fingers. Again, that little counter stretch. All that forward work that we do with our hands and wrists all day. And come to stillness. Just notice. And then tuck the toes. Let's lift into down dog. It's our first, so let's wiggle. Pedal. Wag the tail. And just like our cat-cow, a little freestyle here. So move. Find ways to stretch. Find muscles that you haven't felt before or that are hiding out. And then coming to stillness, plant your feet on the mat under your hips. Not under your hips, hip distance apart. Bend the knees a lot. And push the belly and at least the low ribs back onto the thighs. Now push into the pinky edge of the fingers just briefly and drop those shoulders down and open. And then keep the shoulders there, but bring more pressure to the base of the thumb, base of the index finger. So that was just a little trick to open the shoulders, externally rotate the arms. Another one is to bend your elbows here. Let the elbows bend out and then scoop them down towards the earth and then straighten your arms. Now straighten the legs. Lift the sit bones up towards the sky. Reach the heels towards the floor. Any amount. And breathe. Let's shake your head yes here. A big old yes nod. And no. Release the cervical spine. You can even peek back there at your navel, drawing your chin more towards the chest. On your next exhale, float those knees down. We'll come back to table. Let's take a child's pose. Knees can be narrow or wide or somewhere in between. Bring your heart down towards the earth. Forehead down there if it comes down easily. If not, a block or stacked fists can help. If you're not using your hands to support the head, wiggle the fingers, circle the wrists. You can even take one hand in the other and do some squeezing. Bring your arms long, shoulder distance, shoulder width. Come to the pinky edge of the fingers. And then bend the elbows. Bring the hands together in Anjali Mudra. Fingers can point up towards the ceiling, or bend the elbows even more and bring the thumbs to touch the back of the neck. Get a little stretch in the triceps. Now watch what happens if you bring your elbows a little closer to the head. Melt your heart down towards the earth. A little deeper stretch, maybe. Breathe into the ribs. Feel the breath stretch those muscles of the back. Extend the arms forward, and we're going to lift up into table again. Now step the right foot forward between the hands. Help it out if you need to. Bring both hands to the right knee and help yourself come up. Bring your hands to heart. Draw your left hip back, so it's like you're trying to pull your foot back. And notice when you do that, the left knee tries to pull forward, like the blades of scissors trying to close. Keep that engagement, and maybe you sink forward and down in the pelvis. And then maybe lifting the prayer. That back foot, the toes can be tucked or the top of the foot on the mat, whatever feels best. And then back to that neutral position. Fold forward here. And come onto your right heel. If you can lift your leg by using the muscles of the leg, do that. Or you can lift your foot with your hand. And again, we're going to draw the right foot back and let that left knee start to pull forward. Keep the right toes drawn towards the knee. Now recommit to this neutral spine. As you inhale, lift and lengthen. As you exhale, reach with the heart, but fold at the hips. Stretching through the back of the leg. Now bring the sole of the right foot back to the mat. We're going to shift forward. Draw the legs together like scissor blades and come back up into Anjaneyasana, monkey pose. And bring the hands to the mat, come back to table. Do a little freestyle cat-cow, little movement here. And pause just for a breath or two. And notice, especially left and right legs. Now bring the left foot between the hands. Take both hands to the left knee, rise up. Now take hands to hips this time. We're going to pull the left hip back and let that right hip kind of pull forward. And again, the analogy is the blades of scissors. So keep that engagement. The muscles of the legs should feel very active and contracted now. Keep that as you bring your hands to heart. And I'm going to shift forward and down with the pelvis. And then bring the hands up. Anjaneyasana, monkey pose. And exhale, come back to that neutral position, folding forward here. Let the hands find the floor. Blocks could be helpful. If you can bring the left heel out there by using the muscles of the legs, do that, or use your hand. And again, we're drawing that left heel, sticking it to the floor and trying to pull it back, but it's super glued. Feel the right knee help to stabilize you by pulling forward. Draw the toes towards the knee, recommit to this neutral spine, fold at the hip crease and start to lower belly, then low ribs, then heart. Maybe nose comes a little closer. Now shift forward. Sole of the foot comes back down. You're going to engage the legs. Hands to heart. Back to Anjaneyasana. Feel all those little stabilizers working to keep you balanced here. And exhale, frame the foot. Let's find a wide child's pose, so big toes touch, knees wide. And enjoy this descent as the hips go back to the heels. And then the heart comes to the earth. You can turn your head to one side or the other. And again, check in on the hands. Maybe you need to do a little wiggling and squeezing. Let it go. If you have your head turned to one side, lift it and turn it the other way, and maybe walk the arms down along your sides. So the shoulders just kind of fold forward. My palms are facing up. And breathe. And coming back to table. I want you to bring the right foot forward again. Both hands to the right knee. Tuck the toes of the left foot. Lean forward, and we're going to straighten that back leg, lifting the heel, and then step forward. Arriving on an inhale, let's lift halfway. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Keep a little bend in the knees. Pull the feet away from each other. Swing your arms out and up. And exhale the hands home to the heart. Let's twist a little bit here. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, up. Exhale, twist to the left. One more each side. Inhale. And exhale. Last time. Inhale the arms overhead, bring the gaze up there, bring the hands together, watch the thumbs as you draw your hands home to the heart. We're going to step back with the right leg and then turn to the right, coming into Prasarada. So little toe edges of the feet are parallel to the short edges of your mat. And extending the arms out in the shape of a T, ankles should be roughly underneath the wrists. Take the hands to the hips. Roll the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Now draw the elbows towards each other and slide the hands to the low back, so that clock face. Pull those elbows even further back if you can. Bring the heart forward. Tip the belly button forward. Now the heart lifts towards the sky. Reach through the crown of the head as you come into this back bend. And then exhale. We're pulling the feet away from each other, starting the movement at the hips. And as we fold forward, we'll pass through neutral. And then bring the hands down to the mat, wherever they land. Try to get the wrists underneath the shoulders. Exhale, bend the elbows a bit, let your head hang again. And now let's shake the head yes. And shake the head no. And just hang. I've got a new necklace. I absolutely love it. It says Namaste, but sometimes it slips out of my shirt and hangs down by my face. Maybe as you exhale, there it went again. As you exhale, maybe fold a little further forward. You can have your knees bent a little here, and you can even play with bending the knees and then working to straighten, just like we did with the strap when we were on our backs, one leg at a time. So bend a little bit and then focus on those sit bones going up, crown of the head going down, then maybe you bend again. Sit bones up, crown of the head down. Now bend your knees a lot. Bring the gaze forward as you take your hands to your thighs. We're going to pull the feet away from each other as you inhale, rise up. Pause here and notice. Maybe bring hands to heart. Now we're going to step to the top of the mat again. So coming back to mountain pose. Inhale, swing your arms up. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen through the spine. On an exhale, let's step back to plank. And the balls of the feet, shoulders are over wrists, maybe a little forward of the wrists. Drop your knees. And come down to the belly, nice and controlled. Let's do rolling baby cobra. So tuck the chin, forehead comes down, hands are by the armpits, those elbows point up, maybe even reach towards one another. As you inhale, pull the hands back, let the heart come forward and up. Unfurl the head, and then exhale down. Let's do 4 more of those. Three more. On the last one, we will hold. So come up. Keep breathing. Float the hands off the mat. Shoulder blades nice and close to the spine. Gaze down the tip of the nose. Breathe. Float the hands down. Press into table. Step the left foot between the hands. Make sure that foot's right in front of the hip so that you don't bring it more to the midline. You're going to keep it hip distance. Then rising up, take the hands to the knee. We're going to tuck the toes of the right foot. Lean forward a bit, push through the heel. Lift the knee, step it forward. Arrive on an inhale. Both hands come to the shins. Lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees as much as you need to. While we're down here, let's tuck the hands under the feet. So my toes are right on the base of my palm, just above my wrist. And I can use my toes to massage my hands. Knees are bent. Breathe. Let your head hang again here. Now release the hands. Pull the feet away from each other. Swing your arms out and up. And exhale the hands home to the heart. Now we're going to step back with the left foot, opening out into Prasarada, facing your left. So that same stance, little toe edges of the feet, parallel to the short edges of the mat. Inhale, swing your arms overhead. As you exhale, fold forward, moving at the hips. Bring your hands down here. And we're going to start with wrists under shoulders. And then I want you to walk your hands out forward. So we're coming into a wide down dog. So my wrists are under my shoulders. I'm going to push the floor away and lift my sit bones. Pull the feet away from each other. And breathe. Lift your kneecaps here. Squeeze the muscles that will lift the kneecaps, protect the knees. Now walk the hands back and center the left hand under the nose, right down there. I'm still pulling my feet away from each other. I'm going to keep my hips square to the mat as much as I can and reach up with my right arm. Twisting. Maybe take the back of that right hand to the low back. Get a sense of keeping the low back parallel as you twist more through the thoracic spine and the neck as you look up over the right shoulder. Now we'll switch sides. Bring the other hand under the nose. Let's swing that left arm up and bring the back of the hand to the low back. I think that helps you bring some awareness to the lumbar spine. Then open that left shoulder, bring the gaze over the left shoulder, and breathe. And unwind. Walk the hands in line with the feet, or at least in that direction. Keep your elbows pointing underneath you. So the eyes, the inside of my elbows are kind of right over that little crook between my thumb and my index finger. As I bend my elbows, I can let the crown of the head hang. Knees can bend a bit. And if you've got a little more space, now turn the fingers to face behind you and start to walk those hands back. Now walk your hands forward, lift your gaze, bend your knees, take your hands to your thighs, pull the feet away from each other, and rise up on your inhale. Swing your arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to turn and come to the top of the mat. Inhale out. And exhale, fold. Lifting halfway. And bring fingertips or the hands to the mat. I'm going to step back with my right foot. Externally rotate the toes a bit, getting ready for warrior one. So heel to heel alignment, or maybe the left foot's a little further out to the left for stability. As you inhale, lift up. Hands to hips again. I want the left hip to draw back. Let that right hip wrap forward a little, but keep pushing into the little toe edge of the back foot. Bring your hands to heart. Warrior one. On an inhale, lift your prayer. Lift your gaze, and then come into goddess arms, that goal post. Let the weight of the elbows open up the pectoralis muscles. Keep reaching through the crown of the head, keeping space between the vertebrae of the neck. Now bring your hands behind you. Keep the shoulders open, even shrugging up and then back and down, reaching the shoulder blades towards the spine. My fingers are laced. Push the knuckles down and then reach the fists away from the low back. Now fold forward. You can rest the left side of the chest and belly on the thigh. Reach up with the fist. Let the head hang. Humble warrior. Release the hands to frame the left foot. Let's step back in plank. As you inhale, come forward with the shoulders kind of past the wrist. And you have an option of letting the hips come down. So this is a modified upward facing dog. Bring the gaze up. And then lift the hips, down dog. Let's walk to the top of the mat. Arriving on your inhale. Grab your big toes with your peace sign fingers while you're here. Keep your knees bent as much as you need to. And then lengthen and lift. Lengthen the legs. Lift the gaze. So this is like halfway up, but we're just hanging onto those toes. Pull on the toes. And then exhale, fold. Pull the feet away from each other. Swing your arms out and up. And exhale the hands home to the heart. Second side, inhale up. Exhale, fold. Lift halfway. Hands to the mat, step back with the left foot, drop the heel inward, getting ready for Virabhadrasana 1. Inhale up. Hands to heart. Lift your prayer. Goddess. 3 breaths here. Bring your gaze forward as you take the hands behind you. Lace the fingers open through the front of the chest. Press the knuckles down. Reach away as you fold forward, humble warrior. Frame the foot. Come to table. Cross your ankles. Sit back behind the ankles. Pause here just for a moment. Sukhasana, Dandasana. What do you notice? Let's make sure there's plenty of mat behind us. Walk the feet wide, left and right edges. Keep the knees bent. Hands behind you, fingers point forward. Draw those elbows towards each other. So the front of the chest is nice and open. Let's drop the knees to the right. Take the gaze to the left. And breathe. Second side. And then back to the right. Let's come up on the right sit bone. Knees are at a 90-degree angle. Legs are, I guess. Now we're going to turn the torso towards the right inner thigh. Fold forward here any amount. A block under the head can be a nice thing in this modified pigeon pose. You can also stack your fists under your head, or you can bring your forehead down to the floor. And then rising up, bring both heels closer. Take the hands above the right thigh, and we're going to turn. Twisting a bit, you can stay here in the twist, or you can crawl those hands forward. Block under the head here can be good. Coming into deer pose. And then rise up, and if you want a full pigeon, extend that left leg back. Or you can just come to that modification we had the first time. And then let's come back to the second side. If you're using a block, make sure that it's over there. 90 degrees with the legs. I usually feel better in this pose if I kind of adjust myself on that front sit bone. And then folding any amount. Coming into this modified pigeon. And pressing up, coming into deer. And then turning. Place the hands above the left thigh. Find your way down. Any amount, maybe you stay up. And then rising up, you can take that first pigeon variation or come into pigeon this way. And then come back up. Bring both feet together. Let's do a little Badakhanasana before we go down for a little Shavasana. Let's rock around on the sit bones. Think about the spine again. Find that neutral position of the spine. And let's surrender to this one. So just fold forward. If that doesn't feel good for you, just sit upright. And then rising back up, use your hands to help the knees come back. See if you can come down slowly, one vertebrae at a time. And flop. And find your shape for the next few moments of relaxation. I'll be quiet here. You know how to find your way. Just rest. Find your way back into the sensations of the body. Perhaps the breath can draw you back. Adding movement. Find your way. Whatever works for you this morning. Back to a seated position. It's very still again this morning. We're going to take all the grandkids to the pool. Hopefully the weather's good on Sunday. Our last summer hurrah. Have a picnic. We always have such a good time when we do that. I'll see you on Monday. I'll be back here at 7 a.m. for another yoga class. Start your week out right and join me. Let's inhale, reach up. As you exhale, draw your hands to the heart. Let one hand rest on the heart, the other on the belly. Feel the breath behind the hands. May you have peaceful thoughts, peaceful words, a peaceful heart, and a peaceful world. Namaste. Thanks again for joining me. See you next week.